Okay, today this video is going to be about making this wrench. Now I kind of made them a little offset for a reason, and everything is kind of measured up. So this is my tap wrench. This is the one that I made to hold my dies with, and I'll take it out. Basically, it's fairly simple. It's just a socket that I've drilled and tapped out. I got bushing. I bored the back of it out, and then I make these two handles here. This handle that you see on this side right here, and then here's the one on the other side. I done the handles sort of by eyeball, and I didn't lay them out so they're not as perfect, but the idea was when I needed to use it, tighten it up on here a minute, that this we can have some leverage. So I done this more or less by eye. I didn't just exactly get it perfect, but it's a lot better than what I was using, and I'll bring you over here and show you. This is what I was using and to do it, and it's basically almost the same thing. I made this way before I started making YouTube videos, and I've done a lot of welding. So this is kind of what the deal is, and I'm going to show you something else in case I have a camera problem. This is my tap and die set. This is the one I've had for 40 years. This is what we're going to put the sockets in. And I know I've heard people say, oh, they're for re-dyeing. Well, I don't know, but it sure does say right there, tap and die set. It does not say re-threading on it, nowhere, shape, nor form. And it's 40, this one's 40 something years old. So follow along as we make a socket and make a die holder out of it. Now we're going to try, I'm actually in the mood to make something. It's going to be I'm making another die holder for the lathe. I didn't like the one I have. So what I've done is I have hex drive dies. My dies was made by Craftsman, and I've used sockets before, and the other one I had drilled. This is not always fun. We're going to make an attempt at it. Slow drill speed, because what we're going to do is we're going to drill this out to 1/4 and I'm going to bring you back in a second. Alright, now we're going to drill the hole. Now I'm drilling this hole with a number 4 drill for 1/4 instead of drilling it with the normal drill size, so that because this is very, very tough material, and this is one of them little interstate Chinese drills, by the way, so let me lower the table just a little bit. We're not going to power tap this. I'm not going to get that running. All right, I need to feel this. I got a little blip there. That's just me not paying attention. Okay, so we're going to get the chamfer tool. Probably what I'm going to do is just take a larger drill bit for this, because this is some pretty tough stuff. We're going to try this. This is a higher taper tap, and I'm being honest, I don't want to go in there with a really, really good tap, because this is hard. And You got this strong, it's pretty tough steel to begin with, and there's always a danger of breaking taps, obviously. There's other work I'm going to do with it. First things, before I proceed too much further with this, is I want to get these things I'm going to need to make it a tap driver out of before I do any other machining. So, obviously, and that's why if you heard me say I drilled this with a lot bigger drill than you normally would. Like I said, normal, according to my chart, a quarter 20 is about a 9. I'm always using an 8, to be honest, most of the times what I use. And I almost went to a 3, which would be a quarter 28 size. But with this still, this gives me about 57 to 60% of the threads. And that will be plenty. There we go. Don't let anybody tell you you can't tap a socket, but by God, you just seen I did. I wouldn't, and that's why you want to save. And you noticed I didn't grab my real good spiral tap. Now I'm gonna run a good tap down through it, another tap down through it to chase it. Or I might just check it with a quarter 20 bolt. I don't know if I've got any set screws. This will probably have a little thumb screw made on it when it's done. So, because this is just to hold the socket in place. There's a lot of little machining to do using this. And it's like I said, you kind of goofed up there at that little spot. Let me turn the camera off and I'll check the quarter 20 back there. Okay, let's see if that's going to work. This morning, sometimes the camera's acting crazy. Again, I'm not trying to get exact here. I'm not measuring and touching off, because basically this is more or less a visual thing. This is 3 inches, so we just want to get a hole about 1.5 inches, about halfway through this. That's all we're after this morning. Let me get this kind of set down there. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Again, I'm just drilling. This is not so get it to where I want it. Roughly. So, yep. That looks same. That looks kind of in the middle. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do just like we did on the other. We're going to drill a. We'll have to fix that, won't we, this morning? Now, sometimes these keyless chucks, it does that. There we go. By the way, I have a Rome for what I'm using. Let me look, see. Mostly, looks about the middle. I'll just eyeball this up. Again, all this is going to be for is 2 handles. This particular tack wrench that I'm going to use is going to be mounted in the drill chuck. In the tail stock, and use like that. All right, I'll change to the drill and I'll do it right quick. I gotta let it down to do that. All right. Well, I gotta get a drill too. I haven't got one this morning. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm going to, whoops, I hit the camera loading putting the drill in. I love my keyless chucks. I tell you, they are nice. This particular one is a Rome Supra. It's not an Albright, but it's still a German made, and they're really good chucks. Let me get some cutting oil right quick. Apologize, I didn't have all my stuff ready this morning. I'm going to work a little bit this morning. I got a bunch of errands to run today, and I'm going to work a while and quit. Sometimes it just, again, I'm just rather use a drill because this is hard stuff, and I can resharpen my drills. My countersinks is a little different animal, so. I tell you, you talk about these knee lifts that, you know, and you've seen the video where I made one. That takes a lot of drill power. My little Hitachi, it won't touch it. And in case you're wondering, I'm drilling these very slow, about 350. Now I'll set up the tapping. And I'm hand tapping this, not because I'm scared of power tapping, but see what we're working with here. We're working with a tool. We're working with something that's pretty tough. This is a tapered, and I went up on this one more drill size, by the way. This particular one here is going to be I went up, instead of a 4, a 3. So I'm actually drilling it more like a 1/4-28 thread. And again, we're going to make handles and put on this, and we're going to Loctite this stuff. So that way, and that's the reason I'm doing it, is because of what we're dealing with. And I will say this too, for the people who's watched my videos for a long time and see me do this to tool holders, you know, where we dovetail the tool holders to fit in your quick change blocks. I will say it this way. This is the way I deal with them. I know one of my subscribers actually wrote me and said, I had trouble, da-da-da-da-da. Well, what he was doing to start with was trying to put a full-size screw into the tool. And that's one thing right there is the toughest piece to do. I believe I'm through. I think I am. I don't think I am. Now we just have to turn it over 180 degrees, drill the other hole. If I can turn this out. Okay. So, don't let nobody tell you can't work with sockets. And I will tell you it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And what I wish I had done here is space this up. Excuse me. And space this up and drilled it. So I'm going to put another handle exactly 180 degrees away. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So I'll mark it and line it up. So there we go.